everybody! So today I'm doing something a little bit different for family movie night. This is not one that you can stream, but you can rent it, and it's just something I felt like talking about, so sometimes I'll do that. We are going to be looking at it, I think, one of the more underrated Pixar films, and I think it's really solid and really entertaining. We're going to talk about Bugs Life. Yep, that's right. Bugs Life was their second full-length animated film from Pixar, and it was released in 1998. People often talk about it as, oh, it's not very original, it's not very creative, and I find that a really weak argument because it has sort of a classic story, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They do kind of with that story is really engaging, and it does it really well, so I enjoy it. We have the story of Flick. He's kind of the nerdy outcast of the ants. They are very, very regimented to the point where if there's a gap in the line or if there's something stopping their line, they get very, very upset. And when you have Flick, who wants to do things differently, wants to try to improve, wants to ask questions. And that's, I think, a very likable character. I like that kind of character. And he, of course, ends up stumbling and making things a mess. There is the queen of the ants, and there is Princess Anna, who is getting trained to become the queen. And then there is Princess Dot, who is the little baby ant. And they are all really cute, and I think for a company that gets a lot of crap about not having good female characters, I think you have three pretty good female characters there. Princess Anna is voiced by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Flick is voiced by Dave Foley. I think they do a really good job with their voices. And so basically, the ants are in a subservient relationship to these grasshoppers, and the grasshoppers demand that they provide all of their food for the upcoming winter. And so the ants will go and get all of their food and place it on this stone for an offering. And then the grasshoppers will take the food, and then the ants will then get their own food. Well, the leader of the grasshoppers is named Hopper, and one day Flick, through various circumstances, ends up destroying the offering, and Hopper comes down and is very upset. And Hopper is voiced by Kevin Spacey, and he's great villain, very intimidating, kind of scary, maybe for little kids might be a little too scary. And he is very upset. And we also get Richard Kind, who would later appear as Bing Bong in Inside Out, as Hopper's brother. And so he's really, really fun. And so they're very upset, and they make them a demand that they have to provide a new offering, and then they won't have any time to get their food for themselves. They're upset with Flick for what he did. It's a pitch that don't just outcast me, but let me go and find bigger bugs who can take on Hopper and find these warrior bugs. And so he goes, they think he's crazy, but they're like, go away. So the only person who really believes in him is Dot, and there's a great scene where Dot is frustrated about her small wings. Flick is trying to pretend that a rock is a seed.
Our tree, everything that made that giant tree is already contained inside this tiny little seed. All it needs is some time, a little bit of sunshine and rain, and voila!
This rock will be a tree.
Seed to tree. You've got to work with me here, all right? Okay. Now, you might not feel like you can do much now, but that's just because, well, you're not a tree yet. You just have to give yourself some time. You're still a seed.
But it's a rock.
I know it's a rock! Don't you think I know a rock when I see a rock? I've spent a lot of time around rocks!
You're weird.
I like that. That's really good. And we also get, as he's leaving, we get his first encounter with a bird who are scary. And he gets to the big city, which is very creatively done. It's sort of set in this redneck trailer kind of thing where you can imagine the bugs would actually have a city. It ends up at this circus, and it's P.T. Flea's circus. And there are all these great characters. There's a ladybug, Francis, who everyone thinks that he's a she because she's a ladybug, and he's really, really funny. You have Slim, who is one of those like stick bugs. I don't know what you call them. You have Manny, Gypsy, Tuck, and Roll. And of course you have Heimlich, who's probably my favorite character in the whole movie. He's so funny. And Joe Ranft, who of course has passed on, which is really sad. But he was a great vocal performance. I love, someday it'll be a beautiful butterfly and then everything will be better. I love that. So good. He's so optimistic and so happy. And they're fired from the circus and because they screw everything up and they're really feeling down. But Flick overhears them talking and thinks that they aren't circus bugs, but thinks they're warrior bugs. And so he hires them to go and be these bigger bugs, but they think that he's hiring them to be in some kind of play. So he takes them all the way over there and introduces them to the anthill, and they put on this hilarious play. It's one of the best things that the little kids do. Really a great scene, I think. And they try to convince Flick that this is a bad idea. Well, he tries to lie about it, creates a plan to build a bird because Hopper is afraid of birds. So when Hopper comes, the bird will come down, scare the grasshoppers away, and they'll leave. So the grasshoppers come and they first are scared of the bird, but then certain things happen and things don't work out exactly right. The ants realize that they have some power over these grasshoppers, that there's so many of them. It has a good ending. It's a real charming story. It's got fun characters, particularly these circus bugs are really hilarious, and I think it has really funny moments. It has really sweet moments. I think the animation still holds up. You have the big comparison with this movie to the Ants movie that DreamWorks released at the same time. It's a huge scandal because Jeffrey Katzenberg left Disney and he totally snitched and sold the idea, or took the idea of the Ant movie over to DreamWorks, and they made their Ants movie, which I think is really flat and I do not care for it. But yeah, you know, they're very different in a way because one's much more dialogue based. This is much more of a traditional story. And overall, it's just really entertaining. It has a good score by Randy Newman, probably one of his better scores. Overall, it's just an entertaining, sweet little film. Let me know what you think of Bugs Life, and yeah, put in the comment section. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.